The Clark County official accused of killing a newspaper reporter will stay in jail without bail.
Rob Tellis faces open murder charges in the killing of Review Journal reporter Jeff Gehrman. And this was the scene as he faced a judge for the first time today. District Attorney Steve Wilson says Tellis will be arraigned and formally charged next week. Investigators say Tellis held a grudge over articles Gehrman wrote about him. They say that brought him to Gehrman's Summerlin home on Friday, where he's accused of stabbing the journalist to death.
The nature of this case and the nature of Mr. Gehrman's assignments required a good investigator to make inquiry. You know, what was Mr. Gehrman working on? Was he investigating certain persons? Could those persons be the perpetrator?
And we are also learning disturbing new details about Gehrman's death.
Fox 6's Drew Andre joining us live outside the Clark County Courthouse with more details on this investigation.
Well, and Jacqueline, part of the reason bail wasn't granted was because of evidence like Tellis's phone being turned off before, during, and just after the murder of Jeff Gehrman. And this isn't the first time that an investigative reporter here in the U.S. has allegedly been targeted because of their work.
Police say cameras captured Clark County Public Administrator Robert Tellis driving around journalist Jeff Gehrman's West Valley neighborhood in the hours leading up to his death. Investigators say dressed in this big straw hat and reflective shirt, Tellis walked towards Gehrman's side yard. Hearing noises, Gehrman came out through his garage. Prosecutors allege Tellis stabbed Gehrman 7 times. Gehrman fought back, and investigators say Tellis's DNA was found under Gehrman's fingernails.
It is troublesome because it is a journalist, and we expect journalism to be open and transparent and a watchdog for government. And when people take it upon themselves to create harm associated with that profession, I think it's very important that we put all eyes on and address the case appropriately.
Gehrman has published several investigative reports in the Review Journal about turmoil in Tellis's office and allegations of bullying and favoritism. And the newspaper says Gehrman was working on follow-up reports. Review Journal's executive editor said earlier this week Gehrman had not communicated any concerns about his personal safety or any threats made against him to anyone in the RJ leadership. But investigators say Tellis was one of the first people they looked into.
There were 2 main areas that we were focused on, ensuring that this was not connected to a burglary series or anything of the sort. And then 2, looking at any work-related grievances or conflicts related to Mr. Gehrman's work.
The last time a reporter was killed in the U.S. in connection with their investigative reporting was in 2007, when Chauncey Bailey, the editor of the Oakland Post, was murdered while investigating corruption and criminal activities connected to Your Black Muslim Bakery. That's according to the nonprofit Investigative Reporters and Editors.
And Gehrman was a journalist here in Vegas across 4 decades. In court today, Robert Tellis had bandages on his arms and what prosecutors said were self-inflicted wounds. He'll be back here in court on Tuesday. Jacqueline?
And DA Wilson says a decision on capital murder in this case, it won't be made for months, if at all. Coming up at 10:30, we're going to hear from police how they say they found Tellis as their prime suspect and took him into custody.